Hi everyone, in this week's episode we're going to discuss the new Han Solo trailer, the new Han Solo posters, a possible recasting of Princess Leia for episode 9, Colin's Comic Corner, the Leia Princess of Alderaan novel, and we discuss the Last Jedi Blu-ray. My name's Jay.
I'm Colin.
And this is Star Wars Conversations.
Dun dun dun.
How you doing, Cole?
Awesome. How are you?
Back
again, me old chum. We are here talking about Star Wars, and it's been a mega Star Wars week.
And I'm a little bit excited about Star Wars at the moment.
I know, you're so weird.
Well, you know what? Look. So we're going to start off with the Han Solo trailer, right?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Dropped. Yeah. It dropped yesterday.
Dropped today.
Yeah, well, in the early hours for us, and I've not, as we all know, I was never calling for a Han Solo movie, didn't need it or anything like that, and as it was coming, I was like, well, it could be good. I'm not sure. We'll see. But recently, as I've seen more and more stuff coming out about Han Solo, I've started to get a little bit more excited. They talked about the baddie in the movie. There's been a few things about that character.
Two baddies, isn't there?
Yeah, so obviously we see one introduced in the trailer, and then we've had the one that we've seen in posters called Enfys Nest. And this one is apparently not that big of a baddie in it. Like, they are, but they're not the main baddie, and might not be in it a huge amount. But it turns out this character who looks cool, and you see in that scene with Han Solo where he's drawing his gun like in a Western. So this character standing across from him, it turns out this is a woman.
Yeah.
And she's the leader of the Cloud Riders, which is that gang.
Right. Do you think her name, and this might be on purpose, sounds a bit like Empty Nest?
Maybe.
And I'm thinking it's because, she's the mama and all her kids have died or something, and that's why she's crazy.
Could be.
That's my backstory for her.
That's what you reckon it is.
Empty Nest.
Well, yeah, but I mean, so all that, I was like, that's quite cool. And you saw a few posters come out over the sort of past couple of weeks, and you had
some wicked pictures.
Yeah,
I love those
cool
posters. That Chewbacca one is cool.
Yeah, right.
And he's in the snow.
So I sort of started to have a look at this stuff. I was like, oh man, this is actually starting to look quite good. Ron Howard's a good director, so there's that. I know he came on to fix a movie that was having problems, and there's had a lot of drama around it and everything, but I think he's good at what he does, and he seems to be really upbeat about it. Or he's been all over social media the whole way through the process. When they wrapped, he was doing that.
He's the official source for Han Solo news, apparently.
Well, he kind of is. I mean, he was doing recently. He had some little videos that he posted when they were scoring the movie, and he was kind of like, he sort of like moved the camera across so you could see the orchestra, and then he's like, not a bad day at the office, So all those little things, I was like, oh, you know what? If this is good, how cool would that be, though? Like a movie that no one was really that bothered about, and it's like...
Well, a bit like Rogue One. People didn't really know what to expect there, did they?
Yeah, true. Rogue One I was very excited about. And I'll tell you what, though, the thing that also gets me excited is because it's my favourite era as well. As much as I like... the new ones like The Last Jedi and all that, the First Order don't get me that excited. I don't think they're that cool.
Whereas not after Last Jedi, anyway.
No, but the Empire for me, I love it. I love it when I get to see that gritty, dirty stormtroopers, and I just love all that stuff. So anyway, so you watched the trailer, obviously.
Obviously.
And what did you think of it anyway? Did you like it?
I liked it. I'm not as excited as you are about it. I think it looks like a good film. I think it looks fun, which is the most important thing to me.
Yeah.
I think it would just be a good old romp. I'm still a little bit nervous about Ron Howard because I'm not really been a massive fan of his films because they're just a bit safe, I always felt. But I think this looks like a good Star Wars episode or something, if you know what I mean. Yeah. And Chewie looks like he's going to win the film. And I did I've watched a few YouTube videos today, and they were pointing out that he's been inserted in quite a few scenes that he wasn't in the first trailer.
Ah, okay.
And so I don't know whether they're trying to big his part up in the film since the
Maybe.
last trailer.
Yeah, maybe.
They just can't stop playing with it. So that was quite interesting. And obviously you get to see Masala in the trailer, which was a big.
I wonder why they had done that with Chewie. Like, do you think it was scenes that they had shot and then they reshot, or like what would be the reason to try?
I don't know. One was when you see like the Falcon, and when you see it and you just see the cockpit and he's stood and it's all sort of yellowy background.
Yeah.
And in the original one, it's just him, and in the second, in this one, it's him and Chewie.
Chewie, right?
And then there's another bit when I think it's a show of Bush and Han are walking along a snowscape, and in the back of the tracks, he's been added behind them, about 5 foot behind them, stuff like that.
So
if you look at Mr. Sunday Movies videos, he shows the comparisons.
Okay. I mean, do you think that could be something like maybe they were like, oh, as they've reshot it and they've gone, oh, actually, you've probably had Chewie in these bits.
I think they're trying to make more of it. I think Janice has proven to be a. I think when Lucasfilm likes somebody, they really like somebody, don't they? And I think they've got a lot of Janice love at the moment.
But
and also, I think it's. I think they're pushing the story about the life debt, and I think that's coming more to the front. I think they've tested it or something.
The script that we're getting is the same as what it was even when Lord and Miller were doing. They haven't changed that at all. The only thing is that Lord and Miller are trying to get them to do improv and do some more comedic stuff,
Yeah.
So the screenplay and all that stuff's the same. That hasn't changed. So I wonder if they've just sort of like rejigged it a little bit, and as you say, like tried to emphasise a bit more about the relationship with Han and Chewie, and maybe add a bit more of that into it or something.
Yeah.
But I mean,
so what did you think about seeing Masala, or whatever her name is?
Yeah, I thought that was quite cool.
Yeah, cool. I've noticed that a few people in the group, like Tom and Daniel, have been putting stills in of her favourite scene.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
I'm going to put my favourite still on our little advert for this episode.
Oh yeah.
It's the bit where he looks particularly goofy. And there's a really cool bit where Chewie's hanging off a train.
Yeah.
And when you pause it, though, he looks like a nerd. A Wookiee nerd. I'm going to
got
stick
the goggles on.
Yeah, he looks like Wookiee, and his hair's like gone like to the side. He looks like a
The question
Wookiee
is, that big rock that's coming for his head, is Chewie going to die in this one?
Well, I don't know. I'm taking bets if people want to.
But there were so many things in this trailer that I liked. I mean, you got to see a Star Destroyer being constructed at the beginning.
Yeah, that was cool.
And there's a bit where Woody Harrelson, he says to Han, he's like, don't trust anyone. You never know who's going to betray you. And it's like, oh, that's you then, right? He's going to do that.
Oh,
and it's got a very nice Wild West feel to it. That's going to be one of those moments where it's like, I told you not to trust anyone, kid. And you're going to get all that. It had that whole heist feel to it. I love the bit on top of the train with the new stormtroopers who've got those gravity.
There's a lot of new stormtroopers in it.
There are a lot of new stormtroopers in it because it's toys.
I want to see original stormtroopers. That's what I want to see.
I'm sure you'll see some original ones as well.
Bloody seen in that trailer.
But all these ones are toys, man. It's more toys that I have to buy.
What did you think? I got two questions for you. One, what did you think of Razor Man, the one that's what's his face, the new baddie
with a slashed up face?
Yeah, he was originally going to be the matey boy from The Wire.
Yeah.
And what do you think of?
Well, he's the Vision, isn't he, Paul Bettany?
Yeah, the Vision. And what did you think of Lando in this trailer?
Okay, so Razorface first. I thought he could be quite cool. I mean, we don't really know who he is, but when Woody Harrelson says the bit about like
he's going to give Harness
doing the job and all that, yeah. Well, you see that bit where he sort of like, I don't know if he has a whip or something like that. He kind of slashes.
It looks like he's round blades.
Yeah, so maybe that's what does that. And I mean, we've got a couple of little glimpses of. You didn't see too much of him. Could be cool. I know that Jabba's supposed to be in this, so I wonder what the connection's going to be there, if any. As for Lando, he was quite cool. I liked a couple of bits. One was where he goes, "Everything you've heard about me is true." That was
Yeah.
quite cool. And I liked the other bit where he goes, "You might want to buckle in, baby." You know, when they're about to take off in the Falcon.
Yeah.
Donald
I just
Glover's a good actor. I think he'll play it well. I like that they don't seem to be doing impressions of the
Yeah, I was just going to
actors.
comment on that. Really, I mean, I definitely don't think they need to be impressions, and
No,
I'm quite happy with old.
as long as
What's the
they get the
saying?
characters right, they
Well,
don't
this
have
is,
to do the
but I
impressions
would
thing.
say that was the only thing with Lando to me was he didn't seem very Lando-y. He just seemed, I don't know, he didn't quite have the swagger that Lando's got in Empire, and I guess. What I find jarring, I guess I'm contradicting myself, is because he doesn't really look anything like Billy D. Williams, and he's because he's got different style hair, he's got different style tash. It
But it's a
it
different
doesn't really
time.
look. Yeah, I know it, but it doesn't look like it. Like, if I didn't know that was Lando, I wouldn't
Well,
know that's Lando.
it's a different time. The scenes are taken out of context as well
Yeah,
because it's just cut together in a trailer.
yeah,
And I mean, it's as an overall. If by the end of it, I mean, look, the trailer looks great. The movie could be a pile of shit. Could be.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know.
yeah. Yeah, I'm not making a
Or it
judge.
could
I
be
mean,
the
I'm
other way
just telling
around. It
you.
could be really good. Oh no,
I'm
no,
just
no,
saying
no.
from what I've seen.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
if I didn't know that was Lando, and they didn't say, "Oh, this is Lando," I wouldn't know that's Lando just
Yeah, he
from
doesn't
seeing.
have that very like, hey, I'm
Yeah,
Lando Calrissian. He's not
but
like that so
yeah,
much.
like I
Like sort of,
say, we don't really want people doing impressions in the film,
yeah,
but because he doesn't look like him either, I don't think it really is a bit weird. That
yeah.
takes me out.
I
I
think
think.
that it's one of those things where, and same with Alden Ehrenreich. I think that initially it'd be like, okay, it's not them, but I think as the movie goes, as long as they sort of capture the character, then
Yeah.
you'll get. Because even like Han Solo, there are things that I've noticed in the trailer. I'm like, that's not quite how he is as we know him. But then I guess he's a little bit more disillusioned at the point we know him as well. I did
Do you?
like. I did like. I've got a very good feeling about this. That made me laugh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was funny. Do you think that having well-known actors it makes it harder because we've got a show of Bush and we've got Donald Glover and both of them are straight away I think of Game of Thrones, straight away I think of Community, I think
But
of
this
Atlanta,
is
I think
quite
of them.
interesting that you say this because so I mean, all right, those are two quite current popular people, right?
Yeah,
Now, a friend of mine today, I showed him the trailer. He hadn't seen it, and he was just like, "I'm not really interested in this." And he just went, "You know, I don't see why Emilia Clarke has to be in this. There's no need to put her in this." And I'm like, "Well, first, you don't know what the story is yet, so how is it?" And I was like, "No, the same time." He goes, and he's like, "Just because she was in Game of Thrones, they've got to chuck her in Star Wars." I'm like, not necessarily true. She's an actress. She's allowed to do
yeah.
other
But she
roles.
wasn't particularly good in Terminator either.
But then who was?
I like that film.
I'm not saying it like
Doctor Who was brilliant in it.
I quite liked it as well. Don't get me wrong, I did enjoy it, but
Arnold was amazing in it.
actually this came as part of our conversation because he threw that at me and I said, and he was like, she was totally miscast in that film, and I was like, so was everyone.
Yeah,
Like it wasn't top to bottom, it wasn't quite well. And I'm kind of like, okay, well look, yeah, she's Daenerys, but again, when you're watching the movie, as long as she starts to play that character and that character has a decent part,
yeah.
you'll look past that, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying though. I think they've made it harder by casting people we recognise.
Alden Ehrenreich's probably the easiest one to
Yeah,
get past because you
I don't know who he
really
is.
know him that much. He's in Hail Caesar and a couple of other things, but I mean, like Woody Harrelson, for example, he's really well known. But and Paul Bettany as well. It's just a case of
He's not so.
it's just a case of how good they act. Because then you could go to the Marvel movies and you've got Tony Stark, played by Robert
Playing
Downey.
himself.
Yeah, you've got Scarlett Johansson playing Black Widow. These were big actors before they were in. Scarlett Johansson was a big actress before she was in the Marvel movies. Robert Downey had a career before that. Chris Evans was known. He was like the Human Torch, for God's sake. So you're already seeing him as a different superhero. So I think it's just a case of how well do they play these roles and fit into the movie, and how much does it like the movie has to be written in a way that makes us feel like we're following those characters, right? And then you'll look straight past the actors. As like for Daenerys, I'm kind of like, well, okay, well, let's see who she is and how good she is. I would assume that yes, there probably is a certain amount of these guys are popular, so let's ask them if they'd be interested in being in it. But I doubt very much that they were the only actors that were up for the role. There's probably a couple of others. They probably had a few other people. They auditioned them, tried them out, see what the chemistry's like, and then went for who they wanted. And also it's a bit of eye candy, which is good. But
Orlando.
Yeah.
Okay, the other question I've got then, and also not question, but just thought when I'm watching the trailer, the other thing that throws me off is the new shape of the Falcon, and I just keep thinking to myself.
So it's meant to be a body kit, right?
Yeah, and like I say, I get the film and I get the story, and I'm not moaning. All I'm saying is, for me personally, I would like it a lot more if it looked like the Falcon, and not like the ice cream.
By the end of it, it probably will.
Yeah, let's hope so. Because again, I think that film, I think it will connect more with people if it's familiar-looking Falcon. I think people get excited. I mean, I would be excited. I mean, I love rewatching the crate battle and the beginning of Force Awakens and watching the bloody Falcon. And in fact, my favourite bit of Force Awakens is the Falcon
when they
reveal.
get the Falcon, yeah.
And I'm just like, if only it looked like Falcon I love. And I know it can't look exactly like it. I do get that, but if it just looked a little bit more like.
So the rumours were that this is a body kit that Lando's put on to make it look more sleek and all that kind of stuff, and obviously it's much cleaner and everything. Look, they've written that into the story, and I very much reckon that part of when they write these things, there's a certain amount of Disney going, we need to produce merch.
So, yeah.
And that's the real reason that it looks like that, I reckon. Yeah.
Let's just hope it's only in the trailery bits, and for most of the film it doesn't look like that.
I think it will look like that until Han gets it and does whatever he does, and then it'll be right. I think it'll be right towards the end that you'll see.
I reckon he knocked the front off accidentally or something.
I think it'll be right towards the end when you'll see it look how you know it. I think for most of the film it's going to look like this, but
I still think they should start with Han Solo's funeral, and then it'd be Lando in the pub talking about it.
Unfortunately, Billy, that would have been cool, but unfortunately, Billy D
talking to Jabba
by anyone. Hey, aren't you dead?
They killed you.
Hey, that would be amazing, right? To get to see him, but I don't think they will. As far as I've heard, no one's called Billy D. Williams about anything. But I saw something as an interview, and it was even Mark Hamill. He was like, "Oh man, they should totally bring Billy D. Williams back." And it's like, but they've never called him. I don't know. Maybe there's someone
they kept the Yoda secret in Force Awakens.
They did. That's true. That's true. They did. So it could happen that way. I think
but then
it'd be great.
That's what I do with Jabba, isn't it? Jabba is the secret Yoda.
Well, he's not a very good secret because it got leaked. But
he
was meant.
But we all knew about Yoda as well.
The thing is that the Jabba thing, though, I'd have expected it anyway. Yeah. Right? Like the first thing I was like, Jabba will be in this. It's got to be.
Will we see Boba Fett?
I hope not. I do like the look of these Cloud Riders, though. They've kind of got a Mad Max Marauder kind of look about them, and I think that looks quite cool. I've got the leader on. I've got a picture there on my screen at the moment. Looks. I've got
original Battlefront 2, the original version on mine. I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see it.
Oh, I haven't got my Skype screen open.
Oh, look at it.
But, yeah. The original old one, number 2. I like that one. It's a good game.
Brilliant.
That was a damn good game. Yeah, so I mean, overall, I thought the trailer was cool. I liked the new stormtroopers with those the magnetic feet on the side of the train. Also, it looks like there's a train heist going on. That's quite exciting because it
It
fits
looked
with the
like they were
whole.
on Fort Park on that bit with the old train. It's like a roller coaster.
Yeah, it goes on its side, and it fits with the whole Wild West kind of theme. Going to do a train robbery. That's pretty cool.
I wonder if our Taylor Network fans know what Fort Park is.
Probably not, but Six Flags, something like that. But yeah, I just think there's a lot of stuff in this movie that I find exciting. I like when you see Solo and he's wearing his Imperial armor and he's saying, "I'm a driver, I'm a flyer." He's all excited.
He's a flyer.
He can't wait to get doing all this stuff. So I think he'll become quite disillusioned. I think it'll be when.
Do you think
gets
he
betrayed.
flies without a license?
Probably. But I think that he's going to get betrayed by Woody. Yeah, and I'm wondering about Daenerys as well, because when in the trailer the way it's cut, where he says about people betray you, he's saying it, and then it cuts to her.
Betray you. Of course she is.
The cut to her is where she's wearing that long red cape.
Yeah,
right? She looks like a baddie,
cape.
right? For the rest of it, she doesn't look like a baddie. But when he says people betray you, she looks like a baddie in that scene. So it's something.
They're all going to betray him.
You think everyone's going to?
Yeah, the only one that isn't is Wookiee.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, overall, I've really enjoyed the trailer. I've watched it quite a few times today, and it's really got me quite excited for the movie. I'm itching to watch this now. And
yeah, I'm excited about it.
It's that original trilogy era. The Empire and all that.
Without the stormtroopers, without a proper Falcon,
they'll be there,
and with some weirdos
there
cosplaying as the main characters.
And it was good. It was good seeing that scene. Where Lando's gambling, and that kind of looks like a cantina kind of place. See all different aliens in there. Again,
I like the with the funny claw, or woman with a claw. I don't know what it is. That alien with a big claw.
The big claw. What's that?
No, it was next to Lando. He had a claw.
Oh, I'll have to have a look.
I think you can see him in one of those. Is it Denny's cards?
I can see. Oh yeah. They released those cards, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because our friend Wendy Freeman got all excited.
A couple of them look like bugs.
Yeah, they definitely don't look humanoid, most of the people in that room.
But some of them look like insects. Oh yeah, I see the claw. Yeah.
Wendy Freeman, she's the host of Double Pay Spread, our Taylor Network sister.
Yeah.
She was getting well excited about those Denny things.
Oh yeah.
But unfortunately, we don't have Denny's, so I don't really know how.
No, we don't.
What is Denny's? Is it like a Wimpy?
It's a fast food place.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we don't get those nice fast food places here. We just get about 3 different ones, and that's it.
Burger King.
Brits don't like to try different things, unfortunately.
We like curry.
And that's it.
Yep.
So then there was the new posters as well, right?
Oh god, they were cool. I like them. There are lots of different ones as well, different style ones, but the Chewy ones are best.
The Chewy one's your favourite. Yeah,
that's going to be my screensaver for a while.
Yeah. So I mean, they've been releasing quite a lot of new pictures and posters recently, haven't they? They did a new Han Solo one where he's kind of looking over his shoulder, kind of thing.
Yeah. With a gun.
With a gun, right? That was the first thing I looked for, because also when the poster comes up, and then I was like, have they put a gun in there? And then, yep, they have. I was like, okay.
So that was obviously a non-news story from before.
Right. Well, that was only Brazil, remember?
Yeah, Brazilians. They done a Brazilian on him.
Yeah. So, and then they've got the new poster where he's in the middle, he's pointing the gun, and you've got all the other characters kind of walking behind him. Nice. Even in the trailer, I was thinking, so Chewie, right, this guy who we first met in A New Hope, and then 40 years later, he's still just wearing one bandolier. So he's never changed his clothes. But in this movie, he changed his clothes because toys.
He hadn't even changed his clothes when he was in the Clone War either.
Toys. That's why.
Well, they got new goggles as well and the slick hair.
New goggles, yeah. Yeah, he looks cool though.
I can't wait to get my Masala and Lumpy action figures.
Marla. Yeah. Um, do you think that's actually her? Do you think it's a?
Yeah, he was giving her a snog, wasn't he?
Do you think that's
He's
when
saying
he gets
goodbye to her.
freed or whatever?
Yeah, he's going, right, I've got a life debt to pay off.
Yeah.
You stay home with Lumpy. Cook Lumpy's tea, he wants fish fingers.
Is that what? Is that the? What about the? So there's a poster with a new stormtrooper that's riding on a speed bike. Do you see that one?
Yeah, he's not a speeder bike character.
Right,
He's
like
a
what the
different
hell,
one.
man? Like, why not just use a biker scout?
I
Because
know.
now I've got to buy this damn thing with this new damn
Well, you don't have
stormtrooper.
to.
I do, man. I need
Well,
it for
I
my
still he
collection.
doesn't count as Galactic Empire.
He does. He does count. They all count. So I'm trapped into buying these. You know I'm going to buy the Cloud Riders as well. Oh man, it's going to cost me so much. I think that one of my favourite posters, maybe is my favourite one, was the one that you posted earlier. It's got the silhouette of Solo
Yeah, that's
looking
cool.
into the place. Yeah. Oh, that was another thing that was good in the trailer as well. Woody Harrelson gives him his blaster.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah.
was cool. Yeah.
I hope they're not going to give an origin for everything that Han Solo has,
Well, they probably
because they're going
will.
to give him his scar, his blaster, his ship,
His gloves,
his gloves.
because he didn't have
Um,
yellow gloves on in this, so
no,
he's going to get those somewhere.
yeah,
So yeah,
his round dish.
overall, I like the new. I mean, it's very minimal that we saw them, but L3, the new droid, seems quite cool.
Yeah, it
You know,
reminded me a bit of Alpha
mm,
from Power Rangers.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
IAA. And
But I think it's
I
because
also,
K2 was so popular.
yeah. Do you like the music?
I did like the music, yes. Yeah,
Mm.
it kind of gave me that feel of like
But do you think we'll actually
like
get that in the
heist.
film, or
No,
do you think
no,
it's
I
just like
don't.
all the other trailers? They
That's
make a nice,
yeah, it's trailer music,
yeah.
but it went well with the trailer. It kind of fit, you know.
I
So
hope they have a more impressive. Do you think they use the logo in the film? Because
I
I hate that.
unfortunately,
That's the worst bit about Rogue One is the crap
uh,
of a.
unfortunately, I think they will, and it looks terrible, doesn't it?
I
The
like it.
graphics, but the actual graphics don't look good. They look like they're in a video game on a couple of
That's
generations
what I
back
like
console.
about it.
Oh, is
It
it?
yeah, it's all
Okay.
retro-y. It reminds me. It also reminds me of Rolos. I think I said that before.
No, you didn't say that before,
I did say that
did
before,
you?
sure.
How
Yeah.
does it remind you of Rolos?
It just the typeface. I think it's because Solo sounds like Rolo, but every time I read it, I think of Rolos.
Okay,
Yeah. Who
interesting.
who do you who would you give your last Rolo to, Jay?
I'll give it to my wife, dude.
I'll give mine to Chewbacca, and then he'd owe me a life debt.
Ah, clever.
Anyway, let's stop talking about that bloody film now. I've had enough. Let's talk about something else.
What are
Let's
we going to
talk
talk about?
about. I want to
Leia?
talk about all this recasting malarkey that's going on about Leia.
Okay. So,
So you are of the opinion that that's not a bad thing.
okay, so this comes from fans doing a petition to
Yeah.
get Meryl
That's
Streep
never a
cast.
good start to a sentence.
No,
is
it isn't, is it?
it?
But look, here's the thing: Meryl Streep and Carrie Fisher are very close friends for a
They
long,
were.
long time. Um,
And
so
she's Billy's godmother or something. She.
yeah, so if anyone would be willing to do it, I think she would. Um, and then
I'll be willing to
then
do it.
I posted an article which the headline was misleading, but they were kind of saying, "Ah, Mark Hamill disagrees that they should cast someone as Leia." And that's not what he said. He was just like, you know, Carrie's irreplaceable. It'd be really difficult to do. That's
Similar to that article about Ahsoka, fact being Ray's new
right.
teacher.
Yeah. Fact, no. Which I actually we didn't talk about, but I should add that as well.
We'll
Um,
add that in.
Yeah, but no, I do think. Oh, okay, it's just not my laptop on the floor. I do think that they should recast Leia. You know, I've said this before.
Yeah.
I think that you want to finish her story. I doubt very much that we're going to jump like 15 years into the future or something. And it would be
I
kind of
think
lame if it was like, hey, so while you were away, Leia died. Anyway, so now this. It's like, come on, man. I think you
I
finish her
think
story. And I think Meryl Streep would do the job good. She's a really good actress. I think she would be able to do justice to the part. And, you know, with like the right hair and makeup and all that, they'd get her looking quite a lot like Leia, you know?
yeah, I do. I'm in the camp of I think they should do the jump forward because I think the way the film was left, Last Jedi, I think the story needs to be. I mean, I think it was someone in our group said something similar. I'm trying to find.
Yeah,
who it
there's
was.
hardly any of them
Was it
left
John?
and all that. I can't remember who it was, but I saw the comment.
And I sort of agree. You know, the way that Last Jedi was left, it needs a decent amount of time. And if you have a decent amount of time, I think Leia might be dead anyway. But obviously, they wouldn't have done that if Carrie had still been alive. Then great, yeah. But having said that, if I do recast, and I've got no problem with recasting, I think recasting is a good move. But as I think I've said on our Facebook group, I think they should go with someone who doesn't look anything like Carrie. Therefore, I'm voting for Whoopi Goldberg, and my petition is going up next week. I think she'd be an amazing Princess Leia. What?
Yeah, sure, man.
Why not?
It'd be hilarious.
It worked for Hermione in the play, didn't it?
It would add comedy to Lost Jedi.
What do you mean comedy?
Because it'd be like
She's a serious actress.
it'd be like
Colour purple.
You look nothing like how you looked. Yeah,
That's
a
what I
couple
mean.
of months ago.
But that's the point. That's what I think they need to
People
do.
change. Yeah.
But because I think otherwise people are just going to compare her to Carrie, and I think you need someone very different so that you don't get it.
No, I think you want to have her as close as possible. And
No.
I think Meryl Streep would just play the role well. But you see, if they did do a massive jump, right, then we're going to suddenly have a fully powered Rey, done all her training while we were away. We don't know what happened. She just suddenly became really
Hello,
good.
Luke wasn't even fully powered, and he's been doing it for 30 years.
No, but you know what I mean. Like she's going to have like done all this training by looking at the books and the First Order. What have they been doing? Just floating around.
I think you've forgotten that in these days, any Jedi are super duper powerful in the hands of Lucasfilm. They can't do a non super powered person, can they?
Yeah, true. That's very true. I
mean, Kylo Ren's the most powerful bloody Sith Lord ever. Bloody.
And just to comment on the thing about Daenerys. Sorry, I'm looking at the trailer.
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka. Yeah, hell no.
Why?
I hate all those damn characters. I don't want her in it. I think they're just.
I don't think there's any chance she'll be in it because all the film going public will never have heard of her.
Thank God.
So I think there's zero chance of that happening.
See, in my world,
and I think Filoni is basically saving her for whatever he does next. That's what
of course he is. He's going to whore her out into everything. But in my world, like that canon just doesn't exist. I don't.
Ahsoka does.
I don't
She's the best.
accept it. It's a pile of shit.
No. Ahsoka's good.
No, she's not.
She is good.
No, she's not.
She is.
She's a dumb character.
No, she isn't. She's a brilliant character.
I absolutely just, she should have died at the hands of Vader. And then they had arsehole Ezra drag her out. Ugh.
She should have killed Vader.
Sicken me. Yeah.
And then Ezra should have saved Vader. That would have made more sense.
Yeah, that would have been amazing.
That would have been amazing.
That would have just made me stop watching any Star Wars.
No, because I tell you what should happen is
they should just rewrite it.
Ahsoka killed Vader, but then Ezra turns to the dark side, becomes Snoke, goes back in that time thing, saves Vader, changes the past, and that's why Snoke's going to be back because he's changed the past and he's going to get new dressing gown.
Yeah. We should just I mean, if you want to see Star Wars absolutely destroyed, they should do all those things.
They should have put
There,
Dave Filoni in
there are
charge.
there are great. Yeah, if that happened, I'm pretty sure we'd see the end of Star Wars. It'd just be, hey, how many space whales can we fit in this? Yeah, I don't know, man. There's a load of.
That's the prize for winning the Kessel Run, by the way.
What's that?
You get a space whale.
Well, we saw the tentacles. It's very possible there are space whales in this movie. I bloody well hope not.
Right. Any other news?
Any other news? Well, I think it's time for Colin's Comic Corner.
Yay! I hope you put the music in.
I am. I have.
Good. Awesome. Colin's Comic Corner. So, Jay, as my New Year's resolution with Colin's Comic Corner is, I'm not going through all the comics. I'm just telling you what I've read and my thoughts about them.
Okay.
So, I've read Darth Vader 13, which was by Charles Soule and that good artist, whose name always eludes me, Giuseppe Camicoli. And this again is just another brilliant issue, really, really good. The interesting thing in this issue was Vader seems to have a daydream at the beginning.
Oh, what?
Where he swaps what happened on Mustafar. So Vader is in his full Vader outfit, is met in his robot suit, and he defeats Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan burns to death in his little daydream. Okay. And then all of a sudden Vader puts his helmet on and he's in his little chamber thing, which is quite cool. And it's only the first part of a new story, so I'm not going to get into it too much. But he gets sent to Mon Calamari. And so this is obviously giving you a bit of background about how Mon Calamari got involved in the Galactic Civil War, obviously, which eventually becomes it. Obviously, this is set after Episode 3. So it's a good comic. The next one I'd like to talk about is, very, very briefly, was Thrawn issue 2. If you've not read the book, I think this comic is great. If you read the book, it's a bit pointless, and so I sort of ended up just skipping through it. But
do you think
as a comic, it's great. Book? It's got most. I was thinking to myself, what they're going to cut out, but they're hitting all the beats. And at the tease for the next issue, they tease price, because I wasn't sure if they were going to cut out the price.
Is the art good?
The art is not bad. It's 2 seconds. I'll tell you who the artist is. If I can get that on my. Stop it, computer. Thrawn. It is by somebody good, isn't it? Oh yeah, Luke Ross, who did the Darth Maul comic.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, he's a good artist. Yeah. It's very. So I find his style reminds me quite a lot of classic Cam Kennedy, that sort of very. It reminds me quite of 70s look to it, which I guess is probably good for Star Wars. So that was all right. Dr. Aphra. This is my moment of the podcast of Colin's Comic Corner for this thing. I'm giving it up. I think it's a stupid story. It's shoehorned Hera in it. She gets taken as a prisoner. What else? It's just rubbish. And Tam Posler is treated. They've ruined Tam Posler as a character. His boyfriend gets killed. That Kieran Gillen's trying to play up the fact that she's like scrupulous and basically a baddie, really, and to me, it just seems a bit obvious. She's a lesbian. She's a bit naughty. No, it's just. Oh, I'm not enjoying it, and it seems to be ruining other good characters. So that's not great. The next one I'll mention is Poe Dameron. Good, solid storytelling again. Charles Soule. This is finishing off the story with Lars Santaka, what his name is. So that was all right. But my most improved title this week is Star Wars, the main title. I've read 2 issues, 44 and 45. We've got over that boring story about the Sol Guerrera's little gang. And now we are on Mon Calamari again, which is really confusing me because we're in 2 different eras and 2 different comics in Mon Calamari. And I'm trying to work out what the actual story is. The story is looking for base, I think. Yeah, we're looking for a new base. And the art is great. There's a lot of... it's just like classic. It seems a bit more classic storytelling. Obviously, it's still set in that crappy time. We don't want to be in the stories. But they're in Mon Calamari, Mon Cala. I guess the interesting thing from this is there's some great sort of banter around Luke, Han, Wedge, and some of the old Red Squadron, and they have a catch up over a few drinks. Luke's really played up as a farm boy. He only drinks milk.
Blue milk?
Yeah, blue milk.
Okay.
But there is one scene when God, I can't speak. Leia's got a report back, and Mon Mothma asks her to come up. And in the scene, I don't know if you can see this, my old chum, you can see Hera and what's his face?
Zeb.
Purple.
Yeah,
Zeb. So even though he's supposed to be with his gang lower on his planet, he's still there. So that's good. They shoehorned them in. Yeah, it was all right.
Cool.
So yeah, that's my Colin's comic. I mean, they're all right. You know, the Star Wars is most improved. I mean, it's much better than that other boring story.
Ooh.
And the only thing I would say is Salvador Larroca, brilliant at capturing the likenesses, but it does get a bit boring just seeing the same pictures that you've seen of Leia and Han and Luke just redrawn 20 times.
Because it's almost like he traces them, right?
Yeah, you can like what scene every picture's from the films. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's not very good.
Well, I mean, it depends what you want from a comic. If you want it to be brilliant likenesses and nice art, then if you just want to look at it, but it just throws you off the storytelling a little bit. Yeah, so that's the comics.
Cool.
So I'll tell you about the audiobook that I've listened, which I'm much more excited about.
Yes, I want to hear about this. So this one's called
Leia, Princess of Alderaan. It's by Claudia Gray. Now, this has been out a little while, but I've only just managed to get hold of it because it's not on UK Audible.
Oh, okay.
So I've only just managed to get hold of it. Obviously, someone like Darryl bought it for me in America. Or something. Yeah, that's what I would say. I've been listening to it. It's only about 10 hours, about 32 chapters, and I've got literally 30 minutes left of it, so I can't tell you 100% it's amazing. Okay. But for what I've listened to, for the 9.5 hours of it I've listened to, it's really, really good. It's basically set when she's about 16, and it's like, so it's a bit of, I think it was a junior novel. I don't know if it's like what they class as a junior novel or not, but I mean it's definitely not kids, but it's not. It's obviously because it's about a 16-year-old Leia. It's got a bit like Lost Stars. It's because it's the same writer, I think, as Lost Stars.
Yes, it is. Yeah. And
also she did the brilliant Leia-centric Bloodlines, which was the book set between Jedi and Force Awakens about Leia and gave you a bit of insight about her, joining the Resistance and breaking out. So this book is, as I said, she's 16, and it's basically the story of how she gets involved with the rebellion.
Right.
And it shoehorns a lot of Hodor, whatever her name is.
There's a lot of shoehorning going on.
Yeah, well, as we've discussed many a time on this podcast, Jay, Lucasfilm like to once they bring something new in, it's got to be in every single thing that they do.
Yeah.
So in this book, there's Crate, there's Hodor. What's their real name? Anyway, you know.
Admiral Holdall.
Holdall.
Yeah. Oh, you got me stuck there.
Admiral Hodor is what I hear when I hear the name.
Hodor.
So there's Crate. There's millions of things in it that's been shoehorned in. Anyway, so but having said that, I think Hodor was also in Bloodlines. So from remembering it,
is Vice Admiral Holdo.
Hodor, that's it.
So it's not far off. Yeah,
almost there. But really good. Leia is a bit insecure. You get loads of insight into Bail Organa and
into Jimmy Smits.
Yeah, and Leia's adopted mother, which is called Bea or something. That confused me because it was a little bit too close to Leia.
Oh.
It was almost like, like when you do like the joined up boyfriend girlfriend name.
Yeah.
It was almost like Leia and Bale being joined up, and I was getting woken. I was like, who? Because also you get like a bit of story about her background where she got some implant in her head, and I'm like, Leia's got an implant in her head. This is new. And then I realised they were talking about Bale or whatever her name was.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's the Queen of Aldran. Anyway, but it's really good. It's really, really, really interesting story. At first, I wasn't quite sure. Again, it's one of these books where I guess you don't need to know it, but I found it really interesting because it was all about Leia and sharpening her diplomatic. Breya, that's it. Bloody annoying, these names. So it shows how she sort of her first encounters with Tarkin, which is quite good, and how she sort of matures a little bit because obviously in A New Hope when we first meet her, if you don't count Rogue One, she's quite feisty and quite sure of herself, and seems like she'd been doing this for a while. And even though I think she's only meant to be like 19 and that.
19, yeah.
So it's really good. The drawback, possibly, if you're an old man like me or you, Jay, is it is a little bit. She's got a little love interest in it, and it's a little bit that sort of teenagey angst. But then she's
16 and she's on that planet, so yeah.
So, but I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed Hodor's character as well. They sort of turn her into a bit of a...
Did they hint at her being force sensitive at all?
Who, Leia?
No, Hodor.
No, but you do get a Leia force sensitive moment, which is quite good. Which again, I think, it's more she gets like a bit of a... She has this sort of moment where she sort of starts feeling connected and she's trying to do something. I don't want to ruin it.
Oh, okay.
Hodor, she's done a bit like Luna Lovegood from Harry Potter. She's like a crazy weirdo who's a bit out there.
Okay. I don't know who Luna Lovegood is.
Well, she's a crazy weirdo. That's a friend of Harry Potter. It's a bit of a nutter. Right. She's a bit like out there with the fairies kind of thing. So yeah, it's cool. And obviously Leia does like a Senate, like an ambassador, like a junior ambassador sort of like program. And yeah, it's pretty cool, guys. There's a lot of Tantive 4 action. There's a bit where she interacts with R2. And there's also just this little throwaway line where, because she's looking for a freighter ship, because she needs passage all of a sudden, and she goes, "Oh, she was just about to go to her old YT class or whatever it is, but it just flew off before she could get that kind of thing." You think, "Oh, could that have been?" Oh, yeah, it was cool, really good. I mean, I haven't quite finished it. I sort of guessed where it was going. I'm assuming I've guessed where it's going, but it's good.
Cool.
Worth a listen. Easy listening.
Yeah.
Easy listening.
Is it long? How long is this one?
10 hours.
Okay. No, it'd only take me
Yeah, it's not a big book.
about 6 weeks to get through.
Yeah, I really recommend it anyway. If you like Lost Stars and
do you think it adds anything to the character of Leia, like when you watch her and say in A New Hope or whatever? Do you think it adds anything?
It's made me really want to rewatch A New Hope.
Okay.
Like I say, it's not super necessary. I think you can live your life having not read it or heard it, but I think it adds a bit more interest. You know, I am interested in rather than the Solo one. I would rather have seen this as a film, you know, just because I'm more interested in Leia and Alderaan. I really like Alderaan and what's his face? Who's the captain of Naboo? Planko or
Panaka. Captain
Panaka.
Yeah.
He's in it, and that's quite an interesting little bit.
I knew your mother. Oh, no, I don't know she's your mother. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like, you look familiar, kind of thing, because she goes to Naboo.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it's quite cool.
Huh. Right. Well, what else you got to talk about there, Colin?
Battlefront.
I didn't know we were talking about Battlefront.
Well, I ain't got much to say apart from I've been playing it a lot and I still love it, and the progression system is so much more improved. It's so much more interesting to play it just because the characters you play, you actually skill up, and it's quite good. And any day now, we're waiting for the bits that you can spend your credits on to come into play. That's about to be released this month, and they've also been hinting at releasing more details about Season Pass 2, even though it's not Season Pass, but it's Season 2 of the digital download things.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we've both got our Last Jedi Blu-ray as well. I haven't had a chance to watch it because I just received it today.
I got it on Friday because I got it from a better place than you, obviously. I always tell you this. Anyway, the Blu-ray is brilliant. I haven't watched the film. I've just watched all the
extras.
Yeah. The documentary is really interesting.
Yeah.
It's on it. Goes on for ages, and it's a little bit cheese. I thought they were because it's called something like The Director and the Jedi, and the main narrative in the documentary is that Mark Hamill didn't like what Rian Johnson had done with the film.
Awesome.
And what he'd done with Luke. And Mark Hamill was so grumpy in it, it's unbelievable.
Excellent.
And it keeps cutting him going, "Oh, but I really wanted to do my best. So even though I disagree with it, I still did my best." And trying to be positive. But every time it cuts through his face, he looks like a right grumpy kid in it. But to be honest, it made me appreciate the film a bit more. I did enjoy the documentary. There's some behind the scenes bits where they explore specific scenes. Those bits are really good. There was something when I watched it, I thought, I need to talk to you about it, but I can't remember what it is now, and it's really annoying my head in because it was Friday, such a long time ago now. What was it?
Well, maybe we can cover this in next week's episode.
Yeah, maybe we'll go into a bit more detail.
I've watched
the deleted scenes are quite interesting, definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure it was the deleted scenes I want to talk about. But
I'll have to check.
I tell you what, why don't we hold this? Watch it.
The Blu-ray came out today anyway, officially. So unless you've got a digital copy or got it early like Colin, then you're going to probably have got it today. Yeah. So by next week, most people should have watched it. Yeah. Cool.
3D.
All right, dude. Well, we've been rambling on for near an hour now, so I think it's probably time we wrap this
I
shit
don't want
show
to
up.
go, Jay. I want to talk more Star Wars.
Unfortunately, we've got to because
What?
your ship's leaving, and you need to get on it.
Oh. Well, I want to go on my ship.
Right,
I want to
so
talk Star Wars all night.
thank you everyone for listening to this slightly longer edition. I hope you've enjoyed our ramblings. You can find us on all the social medias. You can find us on our Facebook group, which is Star Wars Conversations. You can find us on Twitter at Star Wars Convo or hashtag Star Wars Convo. Same for Instagram. And you can find us in all the places where there are podcasts, such as Stitcher, SoundCloud, iTunes, and anywhere else. If you just search for Star Wars Conversations or Star Wars Convo. And you can find us on the Taylor Network of Podcasts.
Yeah, the Taylor Network of Podcasts. It's an amazing place where you can get on one feed all these millions of different brilliant podcasts, geeky ones, comic ones, Star Trek ones like Go Trek Yourself and Double Page Spread Comics and Nothing's On, where they talk about TV and film. The TARDIS podcast where they talk about Doctor Who, which is really good.
That
Probably the
TARDIS
best
one I've heard all about. Yeah, I've heard
It's
a
the
lot of
best
people going
one.
about that.
It really is brilliant. There's some great ones on there. So I would really recommend just subscribing to that feed, and then you get all the podcasts. You just listen to ones you want, and all of them brilliant. No Apologies on culture trapping. They talk about cool stuff. There's Jim's got a new one. I can't remember what it's called, which is not very helpful of me. But there's so many good ones. So yeah, get that. Go on our Facebook group because I want more members than the UK Star Wars
And
Facebook group.
how about
It was great, lovely guys.
tell all your friends about our Facebook group and add them. Add your friends. If your friends like Star Wars, add them. And if they don't like Star Wars, add them and get them into Star Wars. I mean,
Yeah.
That makes sense, right?
Yeah. And yeah. What else? Do you want to plug anything else, Jay? Anything you want to plug?
I have nothing to plug. No.
Yeah.
Yeah? Cool.
Yeah.
Right, so that'll do it for us then. So until next time.
You're a feisty little one.
May the Force be with you.